share with you coaches how to make a greater impact, how to really create the lifestyle of their dreams and have the business both in, in money and in impact and in time and all of it. So he's helping other people make a difference on the planet and really live their sole purpose. And we're sharing him with you because he's, taken this journey in his own business, and he's literally gone from 0 to a 7-figure business. And he's making a beautiful impact on the planet. And, for you listening, if that's your dream, or even if that's partially your dream, there's some really cool things in this guy's head that are going to serve you to propel you forward, to save you the years. So we're literally going to pick out the nuggets of gold and flow in a beautiful conversation. And AJ's been so generous to share some of this stuff that's taken him years and a fortune in education to shift through, because he's all about making impact. This is Kelly Bowen, your co-host. Hey guys, Success Coach, and of course I'm Gaby Kowalski, and let's rock this out. So, AJ, my beautiful friend, first up, just a quick question. What inspired you to actually launch your business in the first place? What was that nudge in your soul that had you go, I want to make an impact and, I want to help people?
Yes, well, first of all, Gaby and Kelly, thanks for having me. Appreciate being here. Super pumped that I'm here to share such a beautiful subject. And you asked a great question. What inspired me to really launch my business? Well, I actually made a video about it earlier today, and I discussed the topic of the superpower. I feel like everyone has this amazing superpower, and it's taking this gift and building a business around it, right? Because I believe in financial abundance. Why not do what you love and be able to monetize it? So for me, it was realizing that I wanted to serve people. I want to help them become the best version of themselves. And I created a company called Online SuperCoach. And it's helping people find out their innate gift and talent, and then building an infrastructure around it, helping them to market themselves, set up sales processes, and then deliver through a leveraged way. So you're covering all the different elements of taking one's superpower and helping with the masses.
Beautiful. I love that. So to get to the real juice of this conversation, I've known you for a few years, and we actually met a couple of years ago, and our first conversation was super epic. Like, we literally went straight into the quantum magic of how we manifest stuff, and we talked about vibration, and we talked about tuning into higher vibrations in order to call in, more abundance and more impact. I'd love to know whatever comes to your mind that you'd love to share with our watchers and listeners, because this is a podcast and a TV show for all of you people that like one or the other, or both. What are some fundamental shifts over the last few years that you'd like to share around your mindset, around how you view the universe, how you view manifestation? What do you believe was the mindset and the vibrational shift that actually gave you the most impact?
Yes. Oh my God, there's so many. But starting off with the whole concept that when you get the inside right, the outside takes care of itself. And a lot of times people are focused on the outside in transformation. Let's say with fitness, it's like, all right, what do I need to do with my nutrition, workouts? What's the best plan? What do I follow? How do I get there? And we all know that with fitness, it's like the biggest issue all around the world. Globally, there's like a high obesity rate. And why is that? Because the inside is not lined up. So when you take an inside out approach, it's more of like, who do I need to be to have my ideal physique? Who is the epitome of health? How do they act? How do they think? What are their actions on a daily basis? So taking that approach really helped me with my business. So a very long time ago, about 10 years ago, November 15th was my 10-year anniversary of starting my business. I set a goal. I said, I want to grow a business, but also become a self-made millionaire. I grew up poor, and for me, that was kind of like the mark of success. And my main objective over the years was to accumulate my business to that level. And becoming a self-made millionaire, I realized that following a specific tactic or a strategy, reading a book, was not really getting me there. It wasn't until I embodied the identity of a millionaire. How does a millionaire think? How do they speak? How do they act? What decisions do they make? Who do they hang around? How do they take risks? When I started doing that, then things started falling into place. So I came to find any area of my life that I want to improve, it's coming into a place of who do I have to be in order to deserve that end result.
Beautiful. That's freaking awesome. And So what's at least one, and I'm probably going to ask you for three, but just, let's like do it like a workout. One more, right? Yeah. So what's one that pops into your head right now? An actual shift in identity. Old identity to new identity. So what did old AJ think, believe, do that new AJ does not think, believe, do, and has replaced it with something else? Yes,
great point of view. For growing up, my parents did the best they could, but financially, we're not doing that well. So a lot of conversations at the dinner table was, we don't have enough money, man, rent's so expensive, I don't know how we're gonna make it. And I was hearing this all the time. So I grew up with that identity of scarcity, meaning that there's not enough to go around. So I was very, very frugal coming up. I wasn't spending a lot of money. I was scared to lose money, and that fear of money, that energy of scarcity was severely limiting me. The new me started taking on an abundance mindset, saying that money flows to me easily and effortlessly. And I saw money being this energy that I could create in the moment. If I could create value, then money comes to me easily. If I make an offer, I know I'm going to transform someone's life, and that's priceless. So when I started taking value in myself, and I had this level of self-love and thinking about money abundantly, it just flowed to me in a very easy way. So now I operate in a state of abundance in everything I do. I come from a place of giving. Last weekend I was at a seminar. Every single person I met, I operate the conversation, the interaction, the relationship. How can I give you something? How can I support you? What is one thing I can do to add value to your life? Because I'm an abundant thinking person, and the state of abundance creates more abundance directly and indirectly.
Yeah, I love that. I love that. There's a few nuggets of gold in that, specifically around really burning the story of scarcity, burning, whatever environment, you were brought up in, and realizing, hey, that story, that conversation actually keeps me in a scarcity mindset. So now let's switch that and tune into all the abundance there is. But what I really love is that you did a conscious shift into believing the more value I put out, the more abundance I receive. So there's this beautiful belief system inside of you, which is be generous, give value, serve, help other people, and that is the vibrational shift. And I see so many people in their marketing, when they market, they go from a place of how can I get? How can I put out marketing that's going to get me clients versus shifting it to how can I serve my market? How can I make a difference? How can my marketing make a bigger difference than my freaking product? Or not so much bigger difference, but make as much difference or make a gosh damn difference rather than just going, hey, 50% off, insert something here. So I love that shift, the shift of adding value and serving and being someone who vibes at abundance, is someone who doesn't hoard their shit. We see this in the business world. I'm not going to tell them that. They've got to buy our thing to get that. Or they go to networking events or meet people and they're all about what can you give me? And that's the vibration of scarcity. So I love that. Really do. What do you remember the shift? Do you remember the moment where you actually got the, oh, wow, abundance is actually about stepping in a place of generosity and value adding? Can you share a bit more about how the shift occurred?
Yeah, absolutely. So I went to this transformational seminar, and throughout the weekend, we were really understanding the nature of the mind. And I really understood the power of stories and how as humans we create stories. And that's what gives us civilization, religion, government, money, relationships. These are all stories we have. And the simple act of rewriting a story that serves you in a very powerful way intrigued me. I looked at my entire life, let's say the 4 areas, health, wealth, relationships, happiness, and I had these limiting stories that were not allowing me to grow, especially with money, my business, my career. I had stories about how much money I could charge people, how much I could earn, what my value was. So I said to myself, this is a story that I created. It's a self-imposed limitation. It's a ceiling that is very breakable. So all I have to do is rewrite my own story of who I am in this world and how it could serve and what I'm worth. And by proving my worth, by adding value, making offers, serving people at the highest level, I can make any amount of money that my heart desires because my story of money equals my reality. And when we look at our stories and look at, are they serving us? If not, how can we rewrite them in a way that empowers us? That was the most powerful thing. So the moment I understood the nature of thought, the nature of stories, and our ability to edit them, rewrite them, reframe them to a more empowering way, then my whole life changed.
Beautiful, I love that. And what's your process? Because there's many different processes people can take to undo, limiting stories and beliefs. What's one of your favorite ways to identify a story and then shift it into the story that you choose instead?
Yeah, so I'll talk about something I'm doing right now in my business, okay? So I've been able to really serve clients at a higher and higher level, and I've raised my prices, starting with my first online business like $100 to like $1,000 to $5,000 to $25,000. I've sold packages that big, and I've been able to deliver value 10 times of that, right? Because I want to give people more value than what they pay for. So my next goal right now in my business is to sign up my first 6-figure client, right? So I have a $100,000 package that I've created in my mind that I'm going to bring out to the marketplace, okay? So that's a story that I had before. I used to struggle my ass off as a personal trainer to make 6 figures in 1 year. Now I want to make it in 1 hour selling one package, okay? So I'm destroying an old belief and story that I have. So first and foremost is I'm going to create this $100,000 package, but it's going to be worth $1 million of value for whoever takes it. I have no doubt in my mind this is worth 7 figures, but you get it at a discount for only 6 figures, right? So that's first and foremost. I map it out in my mind, and then I write it down and have a journal. So I journal exactly what this is going to be. And in my mind's eye, I know that there's someone out there. There's 7.5 billion people on this earth. There's one person that is a perfect fit for this package. So I'm calling out that client to come claim their 6-figure package. And what I do for myself is I believe that I could deliver, but also when I'm putting out marketing material, if I'm on Facebook doing videos, YouTube to my email list, I am secretly calling out that high-end client to come into my world. So sooner or later, I know it's going to happen sooner because I feel it in my heart. Intuitively, I know it's going to happen. When I speak to that person, I'm already aligned. I have the package in place. I know what their fears are, their frustrations are, their dreams or aspirations. I'm going to make that offer and they're going to say yes. So that's a little process that I'm doing myself. And when I have that 6-figure client, you'll be the first to know.
Yeah, thank you. I love this, guys, because as you're watching or listening to this, get it right. Whatever your vision is, whatever you're truly wanting, take pen to paper, give journaling a go. Write out, what it is that you're wanting to call in, then write out why. Why for you, why for others. Really go deep on why that is going to serve your marketplace in the world. I don't know about you, but I find that whenever I really tune in and do this kind of shift work, it always seems to transform the most when I take the light off myself and I shine it back onto the world and how I can actually help with my business. So if there's a block I'm wanting to go through, jump through, it's taking the light off you and going on to others, which is what AJ's doing. He's like, okay, if I'm inspired to create this package, there's friggin' someone out there who wants it. Otherwise, I wouldn't have gotten the idea, the inspiration, the download to do that. I truly believe every idea we get in business isn't even us. It's actually like the universe trying to co-create with us. And if we just take that process and have the courage to do the work to shift into person, we can make a bigger impact on the planet and obviously create a better lifestyle for ourselves. So, if I'm hearing you correctly, you're going, okay, that's what I'm called to do now. Please get, guys, AJ said this twice, and I don't know if you picked up on it, but it's all about an elevation of self-value and self-worth. So it's about him changing his story around the value he actually holds in this world. Sometimes I think we look at, am I worthy? It's not showing up because I'm not worthy. It's not about you not being worthy, because you're friggin' worthy. You were born worthy. Like, what was it? It's the sperm thing. The sperm thing.
The likelihood of you being born is like millions and millions and millions to one, because the probability of that particular sperm connecting with that particular egg that makes you is just so like million to the 10x to something. Yeah, it's so unlikely. So the fact that you're here, you are worthy. And there's like something, how many is it? Like 10 million sperm to one egg.
It's a lot, right?
It's a lot.
A lot of sperm.
To connect with that egg to make you. So, like, you're a winner from the beginning. You are worthy from the beginning. Because if you were to look at that, if say those sperms were in a race, they weren't playing nice. They would be like elbowing and hip and shoulder.
Yes.
To get the egg to make you. Yeah. So the fact that you exist is you are worthy. That's enough.
Yeah, and I love that this is the next level to it, guys, because it's not about am I worthy, you are worthy. But look what AJ's doing. He's actually going, how can I be of massive value? And he's having a different conversation with himself. He's like, I want to create a product, but I want that product to be worth 10 times more than what I'm selling it for. And instantly, his own self-value, he connects to the vibrational frequency of self-value and self-worth in that moment. Because it's not about going inwards. Am I worthy? Oh, me, who am I? And we go into these negative stories of, oh, but that person's better than me, and who am I to do this? You actually go outwards. How can I serve? How can I give that person who wants this, needs this, everything they friggin' want and need, give them, over-deliver in a beautiful way, you know, and literally provide what they're wanting. So I love the shift in self-worth for you. You know,
Absolutely.
you sort of, very different conversation, you know, to, oh, how can I be worthy? It's not about you. It's never about us. It's always about them. So I love that, AJ. Thank you.
My pleasure.
Curious,
my pleasure.
right?
Yeah, so I just want to add to that. You know, sometimes people say like, hey, listen, I want to make $100,000 online. If I had a business like that, I could quit my day job. How do I make my first $10,000 a month? And again, it's more about them, me. I want to make this amount of money. But it's saying that how can I create a service that's going to transform someone's life, that they have to buy it from me, because if they don't buy it, their life is worse off. So I'm going to create so much value that this is worth 10 times that, but I'm giving people a discount. And when people create $1 million worth of value, there's no doubt in my mind they're going to have a $100,000 business. It's all about what you create, the value that you add into this world. The universe always pays you with your worth.
Yeah, totally. Love that. Yeah. And, you know, guys, get this. It's not about you and your value and your worth. It's about looking at your product, your service range. It's about having the best, like being the best provider in whatever you do. You can be, with the intention to really friggin' serve. Giving a shit about your market, about your client, more than you do your own pocket. Absolutely. You know, and in that there's a shift, right? Would you agree with that? Yeah.
Yeah, that's it. You know, client comes first, 100%.
Yeah, and in that moment, there's something that shifts, because your own vibe, your own sort of story, your own way of being, it's just, people pick up on that. People will pick up on the energy of your marketing because it's coming from a beautiful place. You know, and we could build out the exact same friggin' sales funnel. Like, follow the same formula, you know, have the same friggin' teacher teaching us, and almost have it be word for word, you know, similar message. But if my vibration is to serve you and your vibration, you know, is to get friggin' paid, there'll be a different spin to the marketing. And people don't get that. They go, you know, what do I do? Yeah, that's super important. I'm not denying strategy is important. I'm massive on it. Yet, strategy fails when we don't come from this place, when we don't come from my product, my service changes lives, helps people, and tuning into the mission of that, tuning into the value of that, which you do so beautifully, and hence, that's been one of your biggest growths. Out of curiosity, what's another mindset shift you've been through in the last few years around shifting into this version, this identity?
This may sound very simple, but it's the process of letting go. So for many years, I've been a control freak, trying to control the different elements of my life, especially with fitness, right? I control what I eat. I control how I train, how I do cardio. So all these things are under my control. So I looked at, okay, business, I'm going to put so much control into all these things. But I found over the past few years, my biggest growth has come from letting go and surrendering and accepting, right? Because this may sound weird for a lot of people, but I feel like life happens in flows. Sometimes there's good things, sometimes there's bad things. And it's like, I'm not trying to resist what happens or control what happens so much of the time. I just accept it. I let it be. And I flow so much easily because I'm coming from a place of acceptance. I'm following my intuition and I'm seeing what comes up with what is, and I'm not trying to fight against it. So this creates a lot of energy, a lot of flowing energy in me, because I'm not trying to fight and resist or ask questions. Why is this happening? Bad month of business, it's all good. Good month of business, it's all good. So I'm not fazed by the ebbs and flows of life. And when I just let go, everything just flows so much easier.
Love that. And it's, oh, guys, like girls listening to this, watching this, such a key piece, because whatever story you're focused on, you're going to call more of that in. It's just the law of how it works. You know, we literally delete, distort, and generalize our world. And you could be like next to a homeless person and feel abundant because you're focusing on the external and making the external dictate how you feel, right? Or you can choose to feel however the F you want to feel, regardless of the external. And that takes mastery and practice. And it looks like it's something you've been fine-tuning for a while. But what I've seen is business owners like, woohoo, flying in business, good month, good month, good month. And they're like, yay, this is the best. Then I've seen business owners have a couple of shit months and literally their story starts going, oh shit, you know, maybe I should quit this business, you know, maybe this industry's dying. Like, drama in that, right? Yes. Versus just going, guess what? Life is, you know, like you said, seasons. We got spring, we got summer, we got winter. No one stands there going, oh my God, it's winter again. You know, oh shit, the world's coming to an end. You know,
yes.
Game of Thrones, winter is coming.
Yeah. You know, and I love what you're saying. You know, it's actually about chilling the F out and releasing the control and staying in a really beautiful vibration no matter what. Because you may not be able to control that it's winter, you know, the snow's falling, but you can definitely choose to look for the gold in the winter, you know, to choose to see it in a different way, and that's what I see you doing, and it's such a beautiful thing, and thank you for sharing that. Super friggin' powerful. What was it?
Can I ask a question?
Kelly can ask a question now.
Go ahead, Kelly.
That's a good question.
It's kind of been nudging me since like at the beginning. There was something that you said, and I see coaches, particularly at the beginning of the game, when they're looking at choosing mentors, and I want to ask you how you've chosen your mentors from the perspective that at the beginning you mentioned it's about becoming the version of you that's able to create this kind of business. We've spoken about how by creating lots of value within the marketplace and building on our self-worth and self-belief is how we're going to attract higher paying clients. But I'm curious, when you've been choosing your mentors that's helped you become this version of you, what were some of the things that you were looking for, and how did you know the right parts to model and the right parts not to? Does that make sense?
Yeah, absolutely. So I believe it all starts with self-awareness. We know inherently what our strengths are and our weaknesses are. And most of the time when I'm choosing a mentor, I look at my weaknesses because I'm very good at building my strengths, but a mentor has one of my weaknesses, or have mastered one of my weaknesses, a part of my business, okay? Now, for example, I'm very big into personal development, mindfulness, self-inspiration, and I had a mentor who was a master at like funnels and analytics and copywriting and autoresponders, all that technical stuff. Now, that was a weakness of mine back then, but I knew that I had to take his mastery of those subjects in order for my business to grow to the next level. So I hired him because he had the skill set that I was very deficient in. And then once I was mentored under him, I dialed in that area of my life, and then a new opportunity came where I had to grow, and that's where I had another mentor. So it's more so looking at, you know, we're just asking the question, what is holding me back from my next level of growth, and looking out in the marketplace and seeing who has mastered that area and hiring them, going under their wing and working on that specific area of your life.
Yeah, I love that. So essentially it's not find somebody that and do everything that they do, but find the gap within you and take a person on who's a master at that and just model that thing specifically, not the whole person, just the success part of the thing that they're doing awesomely.
Yeah, love that. Yeah. Because some do, they tours on and they lose themselves, you know. Like I've seen people do it, they'll start dressing like them and talking like them, and you know, and that's all being cool, like them, right? Like being a mini version of them, right? Yeah, so I love that distinction of have a look at the landscape of business. You've got mindset, you've got sales, you've got marketing, you've got leadership, right? You've got numbers, and where are you hurting right now? And then find someone who seems to have that shit all together, but don't necessarily go dressed like them, smoke a start drinking copious, which happens, right? So that's when you take modelling to quite an extreme level. That's a great question. Yeah. Glad you asked that question.
Yeah, great question.
What do you do to maintain your vibration? So one thing I've noticed with people like yourself, AJ, is that mindset is not a thing I do once a year, twice a year at an event I go to. It's actually a part of a lifestyle. How do you maintain a high vibration within your lifestyle?
Great question. So, this is something where I basically had to really condition myself over many years. So I came to really understand that to increase my own personal vibrations, I had to do a daily set of rituals that keep me at a high vibe state, right? That's meditation and journaling and exercise and really just calling out what I want. I literally just talk to myself. But what has really helped me accelerate everything has actually been a distinction. Now, a distinction for me is understanding the nature of thought. So whenever I have a feeling or an emotion, I know that that is not true. It is simply thought in the present moment creating that. So the moment my vibration goes low with a negative thought, anger, frustration, depression, I analyze that thought and say, what story did I create for this feeling to occur? And I quickly go back and I rewrite that story. And there I have upper hand on the way that my mind thinks, and I go back into my heart and I'm present. So it's really being in a place where, number one, I'm always observing my thoughts and I'm not allowing my thoughts, my feelings or emotions to dictate who I am. I know that in my whole of whole, I am pure love. I am energy. I am peace of mind. Now these are little distortions, kind of like the sky, it's clear, it's blue, it's beautiful. There's a cloud here, there's some rain, maybe a hurricane, right? But that's temporary, right? At the deepest core of the sky, it's beautiful, peaceful, and serene. Now we are like that as well. So understanding the distinction of these low vibrational states, and the moment it happens, being aware of it, not letting it to settle for too long. Perhaps back in the day, I would be in low vibrational states for 2-3 weeks. Now it's 20-30 minutes, at the most a day. I found tools to snap myself back, keep my vibrations high, and to take on the day. So that's my insight.
Love that. Super, super powerful. Thank you. Okay, so here's a cool one. And there's probably like a million answers to this, so we'll see what comes out. If you were to have a moment with you in the earlier stages of business, right? When you hadn't cracked into this identity that you speak about, when you hadn't nailed this ability to be very conscious around your life versus being like a leaf that's blown in the wind of it.
Yes.
And when you had created the millions, what is one thing, if you could say one thing to that version of you, to allow him to become you faster, smoother, more gracefully, what would that be?
It's all going to fall into place. So, growing up, it was worrying and fear, the worst case scenarios, over and over and over. I'm going to lose my business. I'm going to be homeless. I'm going to move back in with my parents. I'm going to fail. I'm going to die. I'm going to have the worst day ever. This is going to crush me. She's going to break my heart. All these worst case scenarios that I had in my thoughts, these fears, these anxieties, 99% of them did not happen, but they plagued me for many of my younger years. So now I would go back to my younger self and say, everything will fall into place. Just chill. Enjoy the ride. Don't worry. Don't have any fear. That's that.
Love that. Chill. Enjoy the ride. Beautiful. Yeah, and it's so true. Plus, just in that alone, please get the vibration of chilling and enjoying the ride. That is the vibration of it's like,
Yes.
It's just day. It's a happy vibe.
Blue and clear.
Yeah. And, you know, I know you take naps. And I know you're big on your naps, right?
Oh, yes.
So tell me, why is napping every day so fundamentally a part of your mindset practice?
You know, I'm a big believer in testing various mindset practices. And I read a book, I go to a seminar, have a great conversation. I'm like, let me implement that for 3 or 4 weeks and see what it does. Now, I've started taking naps, and they have been probably like the biggest impact on my life and my business. Like, I would not be the man today without my naps. And they are so powerful for many reasons. Well, first and foremost, I've done a lot of research on how we sleep as a civilization. Now, the 8-hour sleep schedule is only a few hundred years old. That was created for the industrial age. Prior to that, people slept in cycles, kind of like wild animals. You look at a lion, right? A lion hunts, it takes a nap. It hunts, it takes a nap, right? So I'm like, that's how we used to be. Our ancestors lived in different societies, right? People couldn't just sleep for 8 hours and wake up. There were wild animals and other tribes and a lot of dangers out there. So we were accustomed to sleeping for shorter periods and then doing shit, right? So the whole aspect of that is I realize that I'm the most productive when I'm taking naps throughout the day. Right now, at the time of this recording, I take 2 20-minute naps a day, and I'm telling you, it has changed my life, right? So I just find a spot, even if I'm traveling, wherever I am, lay down. I got this little eye mask thing. 20 minutes, I've trained myself to go into a deep sleep state. I'm back up 20 minutes later, refreshed, rejuvenated, clear mind, and I'm ready to go. Literally before this interview, I took a 20-minute nap. I'm awake. Feels like it's 6 a.m. I'm ready to rock.
Love that. Absolutely love that. You know, and to me, when I look at sleep is something that, provided we're intentional with it, if we go to sleep intentionally in a really beautiful vibration,
yes.
You know, we actually go. It is chilling out and releasing, right? So this is the physical action to the conscious belief of I'm going to chill and relax about the process. Mm-hmm. And if I was to chill out and relax about the process, what would I do? Well, I'd probably friggin' have a nap, right?
Yeah.
And I love there's this beautiful consistency with your belief system, with your vibration, and with your actions that are actually driving this. You know, to me, when we do nap, we let go, we release, we tune back into everything. And, you know, this is where all the chatter, the stories, the fears, the frustrations, the problems, they disappear. You know, and if you can ride out a high vibe wave and tune into that space of everything, you know, you do maintain a beautiful vibe. So thank you, AJ. Now we all know, and give it a go, guys. So anything you hear on this recording, you know, try it. It may not be for you. I'm like AJ. I've tried lots and lots and lots and lots of different mindset practices. Some really worked, and some did nothing for me. You know, and it's about you finding your unique formula. You know, so it's not AJ takes naps. I've got to go take naps, and I'll make $1 million. You know, maybe, right?
I actually put this quote on my Facebook because it's all about testing different things. I said, if a nap, food, or sex can't fix it, then you got yourself a serious problem.
I like it.
Me too. I'm a big fan of napping during the day. It's literally like a reset button.
Yes.
The moment that you wake up, it's like good to go. It's like a whole new day. You know, but you can have like one day.
I had a problem earlier today, and it was like a headache. I was stressed out. I didn't focus on fixing the problem. I focused on getting my ass to bed. I took a nap. 20 minutes later, my brain reset. I was like, I got this. Easy stuff, you know? Because I'm not going to operate in a very low mental state. That's not going to serve me. That's not going to solve the problem any faster. So I'm always rejuvenating myself, being fresh and clear, and attacking my problems much easier.
Yeah, I love that. And the truth of the matter is we can't access the answers to our problems in a shit vibration. It's just not how it works. You won't hear it, you'll resist it. You're not in the vibrational frequency to actually call in the answers. So loving all of this, you know, guys, like the key learnings are massive here. You know, one, get that your self-worth is directly proportional to the value that you put out and the focus on the value and serving others, you know, and really tuning into the impact, you know, that your stuff makes in the marketplace. Two, chill out. chill out and enjoy the ride. My
Let
God,
go.
Let go, baby. You know. And 3, maintain a beautiful vibe. Don't make decisions. Don't do stuff in a shit mindset.
Yes.
Because it's just going to bring more problems. Go have a nap or go for a nature walk or just tune out. And once the vibe raises, you'll find that all the answers flood in, and all of a sudden the problem you were looking at seems pretty small, doesn't it, AJ?
Yeah, absolutely. And you brought about a great insight about having the high vibration, because one of the reasons why I keep my vibration so high is the ability to be a conduit to creativity, ideas, inspiration, energy. So I realize throughout the day when I'm happy, peaceful, enthusiastic, inspired, ideas are flowing in, downloading like crazy. However, when I'm in a lower state, wow, I really need to fix these areas of my life. These areas really suck. Man, I really got to clean my floors, you know? You're looking at all the shit you need to fix. I don't want to think about that right now. I want to help the world, you know? So your whole level of thinking changes depending on your vibrational frequency.
Yeah, exactly. No different to tuning into a radio station. You can either listen to this one or listen to that one.
Yes.
And it's the maintenance of it. You know, I really do believe that it's not about how do I get to a level where I'm always feeling awesome.
Oops.
I apologize. I didn't hit her. She's a bit dramatic. I'm okay. It's not about how do I become someone who never feels bad or never feels negative. It's about how do I consciously, you know, participate in this life and understand that my vibration is my responsibility. And I love that you do that so beautifully.
Yeah.
I got a really fun question for you.
Yes.
What was your very, very first business? So you're a business owner, you're an entrepreneur, and I found that when I asked this question to cool entrepreneurs, there's something they did, you know, and usually it's quite entertaining for everybody. So, or not, you might have had like some really awesome first business. So what was your very, very first business as a human being?
Yeah, I just remember being in elementary school and seeing like in our school there was different candy machines. And they were charging a fortune for candy. It was like $2-3 for like a chocolate bar, you know? So I said, how about if I go to the dollar store, get a bunch of candy, and then sell it to the students? And I realized that what I was getting the candies for in bulk from the dollar store was like a fortune to what I was charging. So at an early age, I understood the power of supply and demand, selling candy, flipping that, and then buying myself sneakers, comic books, toys, you know, and I was like, whoa, this is so cool. And then from there, I understood that creating value, understanding supply and demand, giving someone what they want and being the middleman makes such a big difference.
I love that. That's so brilliant. It's like, yeah, I love that. Thank you.
And elementary school, just for people that aren't American, what age is that?
I was in 5th grade, so I was about 10 years old when I was doing that.
Yeah. For all the Australians out there that don't know what elementary school is,
oh, okay,
we appreciate
yes.
The 10-year-old goes, hey, vending machine.
I'm going to outdo you.
I've got you. I love that.
Better service too.
Yeah.
With a smile.
With a smile. Is there anything else? Is there anything else you'd love to share? Is there anything that your heart wants to say at this moment to give the people listening some beautiful insight into how they can grow gracefully, make a bigger impact on the planet, and really live a friggin' rocking life in their superpowers?
Absolutely. It's a philosophy that I base my life on. I actually even have it on my wrist to remind me all the time, because I really feel a big part of life is being present to the moment. Life is now. As you're listening to this, we are experiencing it. Anything outside of this is not life. It's in our minds. It's our past, our future, worries, fears, depression. Oh, why did they do this? Regrets. It's all bullshit. But now is where it is. So the mantra is really simple. It is maximize this moment. This moment is all we have. I'm enjoying this beautiful interaction. I'm on Facebook Live. I'm sharing my heart. This will never ever happen in all of eternity. So I'm going to give it my all. I'm going to be fully present, come from my heart, and enjoy to the fullest. And when I maximize moments, even mundane moments, if I'm standing in line at the post office or if I'm cleaning my toilet, how can I make this the most beautiful moment possible? How can I enjoy this? Because this is my life. My life is not this ethereal concept. it is now. So the more that I live now and I'm present and I'm here and every sense of my being is experiencing it, then the more I live life to the fullest.
Oh, so beautiful. Yeah, I love that. Life is right now. It's not in the past. It's not in the future. It's right freaking now.
Yes.
Love that.
It almost sounds a bit tantric, in terms of tantric being about enjoying everything about life, everything being pleasurable, being here and now.
Yeah.
Yes. Speaking of tantric, I was having a conversation with a friend of mine, Sterling, over the past weekend, and I set out a challenge for him, and I'll set it out for the audience as well. So
I like it.
the next time you eat, the next time you have food, eat that food like it's the last piece of food in existence. Savor the smell. Take your first bite. Feel all the taste buds exploding. Clear your mind. Don't scroll through your phone. Don't listen to music. Don't talk to anyone. Just give yourself to that food. Make it a tantric experience. I will guarantee you it'll be the best meal that you ever had. Like literally enjoy it like it's an orgasm in your mouth. Right? So that is a small challenge, but once you do that, you could realize your whole life could be like that. Every element of it could be heightened to the highest level because we do things unconsciously. Many times we're like, okay, well, here's the next thing, but it is also correlated to our bigger aspects of our life. When I make $1 million, then I'll be happy. Finally, when I find love, then I'll be all set. When I have children, then when I have grandchildren, oh shit, I'm old. And I really didn't enjoy my life. You know, it's like the next thing is not going to make you happier than what you have at this present moment.
Yeah, I love that. I love the presence, you know, and it is like I don't know about you, but I totally felt that I was having mouthgasms as you were explaining.
I looked at my green smoothie very differently.
Just savor it. Savor every bit of that green juice.
I will.
And it is, isn't it? It's like the living in the now and the presence of it. And that's not to say that we don't have goals and dreams that we align to. You know, it's actually about spending more time in the process. I know so many business owners are overachievers and they're pre-wired to live in the future. They're pre-wired, and that's what gets them to keep going and hustling and pushing and whatnot. You know, yet for the most part, the amount of people I've met over my journey, and myself included, that, you know, until they took this shift, until they started to enjoy the journey, until they actually, you know, tasted their food in the moment, they weren't satisfied. They got the money, they got the time, and for the first 2 weeks it was great, and then all of a sudden they felt empty, and they didn't feel satisfied or happy, and they're wondering why, but it was meant to be. It's never about the external, it's always about the internal, and if you can master the internal,
beautiful. As
the external grows, you get to experience it. You know, delicious. I love that, AJ. I'm going to eat all my food, you know, today and every day like that. And just have a little mouth. Love it. My beautiful friend, how can people continue to follow you, to connect with you? So AJ's got a kicking ass podcast called Online SuperCoach. Tell people, how would you like them to come and connect with you? Facebook, wherever, tell them.
Yeah, absolutely. So the main hub is my website, OnlineSuperCoach.com. That's where I have everything. I do a lot of live events. I host retreats here in my house. I have about 10 people come in for a 2-day immersive process. I'm holding a retreat in New York 1 month from now. And that's like a bigger seminar, about 100, 120 people. Would love to see you there. Everything is on the website. My podcast, my books have a free course on there. You go to OnlineSuperCoach.com. I would love to connect with you on there. And if there's anything I could do to help push your mission, hit me up anytime.
Yeah, AJ's a beautiful guy, guys. If you're resonating and you're like, oh, I really do want to go super deep on my online coaching business, please get in touch with him. He's one of the most beautiful human beings in the space. He's the real deal. He walks his talk and he genuinely cares. AJ, I freaking love you. So does Kelly. And so do all our listeners and viewers now. Thank you so much for taking the time, you know, in between naps.
My pleasure.
To chat with us and to share this beautiful wisdom, these gold nuggets. You know, if people would literally apply just one of the things you've shared, that it would make a profound difference in their lives. And that's what we're about with this podcast, with this TV show, however we want to share it with
those hands.
And
Yes.
you're very excited, and then Kelly dodges my hands. So thank you, really appreciate it.
Thank you, AJ.
Yeah, so Gabby, Kelly, love you both. I want to appreciate you guys for doing this amazing show, taking time out of your busy schedules to talk about these subjects, because it's not really talked about, right? People talk about the external factors, but we all know any person who's at the best of what they do, there's an inner game to it. And when you really identify those fundamental factors in the inner game, you move along a lot faster, but you're also a lot more fulfilled, right? Like we said, if you're always chasing, going on to the next thing, that's not going to make you fulfilled. Fulfillment is enjoying the process, but also understanding, how can I create the life of my dreams right now?
Yeah. Beautifully said.
Yeah.
Mwah.
Yeah.
Ciao, everybody.
Bye.
See you next time.
Peace.
Aw, freaking love you.